Hello everyone, it's time for yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol battle report. I was about to give you a Sora cameo, but as you can just see at the top right of the screen, she is outie. So anyway, we have 17 threats, so the base standard threat level for a game of Black Order, again because the Black Order are awesome, against Wakanda, this time with a little bit of symbiote help. We've got the table set up for the objectives, but we'll go over that after taking a look at the teams. So here is the Black Order for this time, still being led by Thanos with Proxima and Corvus, but Ebony Maw has been dropped in favour of Black Dwarf slash Cull Obsidian, whatever you want to call him, and no Infinity Gems as well. It's hard to fit in anyone. You'd have to drop, well, I guess you could drop Proxima, and then you could have 1 gem plus a 2 threat just to fill, but that's not Black Order, so they're running with small numbers. I don't think it's possible really to get more than 4 of them running. And of course the Infinity Gems do make a difference. Having none of them is going to be a bit of a pain. The Reality Gem is so powerful, but either way, that's the team that's being run. Tactics cards, no matter the cost: Medpack, Mothership, Execute, and Blood to Spare. And for the Wakandans, we of course have Black Panther leading with Killmonger next to him. We have Shuri over there, we have Okoye at the back, and then helping them for no particular reason, because I guess Web Warriors and Spider Foes aren't quite here yet, that's next week. We have Venom, who's helping them out. And as such, Wakanda Forever, Vibranium Shielding, Advanced R&D, Lethal Protector, which is the Venom specific one, and Mission Objective are their team tactics cards. So the secure mission being played is Deadly Meteors Mutate Civilians, which is also the threat level that was selected. The extraction is Wakandan Herbs, Fact or Fiction, that's what happened to get random up. And that's 15 threat, but that's not being played. So this one is the 3 Origin Bombs. You roll equal to your energy defense if you get the crits, wilds, and hits equal to, or no, greater than, sorry, the number of healthy enemy characters around. You claim it for yourself. 3 victory points to whichever team claims the most at the end phase. And if you roll a skull in your check to take control of an Origin Bomb, which is a part of the rule that I always forget, honestly, you take 1 damage. And they are there, and there, down the middle. And then the Wakandan Herbs capture the flag. If you have the opposing herb next to your vessel, you score 4 victory points. So this could either be a really low scoring game or a very high scoring game. So whoever deploys on the left here, haven't seen that yet, that'll be their vessel. That's the herb they have to protect from being stolen and taken over here to the other vessel, and that's the herb they want to take. But we don't know who's deploying on which side yet, so we'll be back when both teams are set up. Both teams are set up. The Black Order are on the right, they will be going first. The Wakandans are on the left. We have Okoye off by herself, Venom and Killmonger kind of together there, and then Black Panther and Shuri over there. And there's only 4 miniatures, so they're lined up. Who knows which way they'll go? But that's us ready to get started and jump straight into battle round 1. So I have a feeling the first 2 activations are going to be mirrors of each other, but first for the Black Order was Proxima. She double moved long in order to get right on in there and spend the 1 power she started with to grab the Wakandan herb that she now needs to take to the vessel over in the corner over there, and that's it. She did not go after the Origin Bomb, so that's important to mention, that's still grabbable. But yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing the exact same move from Shuri. It was not Shuri at all. I thought Shuri moved long, but she doesn't, she moves medium. It's Black Panther who moves long. So he did exactly what Proxima did, move to within 1, spent power to pick up the Wakandan herb. It is his after all, and he's got to take it to the vessel there to score 4 victory points. Again, he ignored this Origin Bomb, so no Origin Bombs have been claimed yet, but the Wakandan herbs are the biggest payout on the table, so we'll see what happens. Corvus Glaive was next up, and he couldn't double medium move to get to the Origin Bomb that's next to Black Panther, so what he did instead was 1 medium move, then he did an Atom Splitter, which is his ranged energy attack. Only 4 dice, but did reasonably well. However, thanks to Vibranium Armor letting Black Panther count blanks as successes, he took no damage. Oh, also, just as a note, in case you haven't seen the Wakandan herb thing being played before or read the card at the start there, the people who are carrying the herbs, so Proxima and Black Panther, they can only do 1 move action in their turns. If they use a physical attack, they get +1 attack die, and they're immune to slow and stagger, I believe. So, back over to Wakanda. Okoye activated and just double medium moved for her turn to get within 1 of this Origin Bomb, rolled her 3 energy defense and managed to turn the Origin Bomb into Black Panther / Wakanda affiliation claimed, but the roll did also include a skull, so she damaged herself for 1 damage. But if that's the only one to get converted this turn, if the other ones are ignored, that means the victory points still pay out to Wakanda because it's majority. It's not you have to have 2 out of the 3. If the other team has 0, 1 is enough. The Mad Titan himself, Thanos, activated and just double medium moved for his activation as well. He easily hopped the wall because it's very, very small compared to him, and he managed to claim control of the Origin Bomb in the middle of the map. However, it did also wound him for 1 damage. He was copying Okoye, so that's 1-1. It's not likely anyone is going to claim that Origin Bomb. Oh, actually no. Shuri might. If she gets it, she'll have to succeed in the roll. Then it would still pay out to Wakanda, because Black Dwarf ain't getting near any objectives, he is too slow. So Shuri did indeed activate, and she did go after the Origin Bomb. She has 3 energy defense, she rolled 2 skulls and a block, so it did not convert, because she needed at least 1 success. Also because there was at least 1 skull, 1 damage to herself. So, Black Dwarf still needs to go, and then we've got Killmonger and Venom down here. But I don't think the status of... Well, actually, you know what? If they decide to go after the one Thanos claimed, it could still change. Let's see. So it was just Black Dwarf left, and he moved small. So he did 2 small movements to back up Thanos. Now, he is right up against that wall. I don't know if we can get the right angle. His hand poking out is a little awkward in terms of measuring distance, but he is not within 1 of the Origin Bomb there, so he's not contesting it, so he will not influence any rolls against it. That's all the Black Order gone, so Venom and Killmonger get to have their turns, and then we'll be in cleanup. So to cover those final 2 activations, Venom moved forward small twice. He tried to interact with the console. He of course only has 2 energy defense, so he would have needed both to be successes. They were not. 1 was a skull, so he hurt himself for 1. Then Killmonger moved up medium twice. He checked it, he has 3 energy, he succeeded, and it has converted back to, well, to Wakandan claiming, because they didn't have it before. So yeah, that's us into cleanup for Battle Round 1. So this is simple enough to work out because neither herb is near the vessel they need to be brought to, so those don't pay out, and it's only majority payout for the Origin Bombs, which is Wakanda, so Wakanda gets 3 victory points. Black Order are not on the scoreboard, they've got 0. As we move into Battle Round 2 with the Black Order going first. So the first activation of Battle Round 2 was Proxima. Since she's only allowed to move once, she did a basic strike which has +1 die. On Okoye, it was an appalling, just disastrous roll, 1 hit, which she easily blocked, so nothing done there. She then moved along to behind Black Dwarf there, and that's it. She's heading towards the vessel over there, which she will not get to next turn either, I think. Unless there's a way to shift her along rather, that doesn't count as a move action. Can't use Mothership because you drop objectives for that, so I'm not sure if there's any other options. Shuri was the next up. She first of all spent a power to interact with the Origin Bomb to convert it. She succeeded, but also managed to wound herself again, so she's got 2 damage on herself of her own volition. Then she fired her Panther Gauntlets at Corvus and has knocked him back because it knocked back small. Only did 1 damage to him, but pushing him away is definitely helpful. So she's just kind of holding the line over there. Black Panther hasn't gone yet. Back over to the Black Order. So Black Dwarf was the next activate, and he had a busy turn, so we've got a lot to talk through, like why is he damaged, for instance. Well, that is because for his first action he played No Matter the Cost. This is a relatively new tactics card. When a character declares an attack action, he can use this card. He may suffer 1 to 3 damage, reduces the power cost of the attack by that amount of the damage suffered. He opted to do 2, then he spent 2, so he could do Brutal End, his 8 physical dice attack. He did it on Killmonger. It did 1 damage. It rolled really badly. Killmonger has 4 physical defense. He rolled pretty well. It did stagger, so he would have only had 1 action, but that's irrelevant because of what came next. He is within 2, if you measure that distance there. So for his second action, he did a basic strike, and the basic strike did 4. Because, you know, that makes sense because of how swingy the dice are. That still left Killmonger on 1 HP, but thanks to the 4 power generated from doing that damage, Black Dwarf then did, I've forgotten what it's called, but it's his pick up and throw of a size 4 or less within 2. He picked up Killmonger, chucked him at Venom. 1 automatic damage, so Killmonger is now dazed, and Venom dodged largely successfully, but still managed to take 1 damage. So I think that covers everything. Killmonger won't be getting an activation this turn. He didn't try and convert the Origin Bomb though, and now it's over to Wakanda. So Venom was next up. He did 2 of his basic attacks for his activation, Symbiotic Tendrils, which automatically do bleed whether or not they do damage, so Thanos has been bled. However, No damage. The first one whiffed, the second one got through, but Thanos rolled very well for his defense. It did 1 damage, but any damage done to him is reduced by 1 with no minimum, so no damage. And that's especially painful because Venom needed to generate 1 power somehow, and then he could have just picked up Thanos and thrown him away from the Origin Bomb, but he can't do that now. He bled him, but not much of a turn there. Corvus Glaive was next up, and remember he got pushed back by Shuri, so his first action was to move forward medium. Then he spent 4 on a death blow on Black Panther, because when it's resolved he gets to move medium again, regardless of whether it does damage, which is just as well because the rolls have been the polar opposite of the last match. They're just awful. So he did no damage to Black Panther, but he still gets to move medium. He is there, he is within 1, but he doesn't have any power left to try and take back the Origin Bomb, and obviously Shuri's just going to push him again, probably. But hey, he tried. He failed, but he tried. Black Panther moved up along as far as he could possibly get, quite near Thanos, and he didn't do anything else because he's not within 2 and doesn't really want to feed Thanos power. If Corvus had damaged Black Panther and given him enough power, what he could have done was initiate a leap and move 2, because that's not a movement action, it's a special power. So it could have helped him clear a little bit of extra distance, but he's only got 1 power at the moment, so there's nothing else he can do. And also, it is over to Thanos himself to end the second battle round for the Black Order. And then it's just a Koi for the other side, who's probably just going to sit there, but we'll see. So for Thanos' turn, he spent 1 power to try and convert the Origin Bomb and succeeded, so that's over to the Black Order. He cleared his bleed status with one of his actions, his actual actions, and his other was to do a Cosmic Blast on Black Panther, just hoping for any damage because it would have pushed him back small. It normally would do slow, but he's immune to slow while he's holding the herb. But it doesn't matter, because it did nothing. Black Panther has been getting quite, well, it's not even quite lucky rolls, he's been getting bad rolls in the sense that lots of blanks, but blanks for his vibranium armor is really good, so what can you do? Anyway, it's over to Okoye to end battle round 2. I don't know if she's standing there, we'll see. So Okoye moved a little bit sneakily. She moved a little bit round here. She is still within 1, so she's going to make this Origin Bomb harder to retake. But that was within 4, so she could Spear Blast, Vibranium Spirit Blast I think it's called, on Thanos. However, it did no damage. And with that, we're at the cleanup phase for battle round 2, with some easy points to work out. We're poised to go into battle round 3. The Black Order will still be getting first activation, and the only points to add up are the Origin Bombs, and Wakanda still has the majority, the left and right, for 2 versus 1 in the middle. Killmonger is dazed and slipping over his card, but yeah, we're just ready to go straight into battle round 3. That's the thing with this particular mix of objectives. You need power generation from other sources, and it has been pretty sparse, so we're not going to get to see many tactics cards or heavy hitting powers now. The tactics card that lets you take damage to make a power cheaper is gone as well. So it's a little rough, but as more people get punched, there will be power generation, so let's see what difference that makes in battle round 3. So to get battle round 3 started, Corvus activated, and he did a basic strike on Shuri, which did no damage. You didn't hear that incorrectly, it did no damage. He did another one though, and that's more like it. It did 5. She is dazed, she had 3 health left, or 2 health? No, 3. She had 3 health left. And then he spent 1 power from the power he generated from the basic strikes to convert the Origin Bomb, and has converted it to the Black Order, so they currently hold majority for the left and the middle. That's likely to change because we're just at the start of the round, but let's go over to Wakanda's first activation. So Black Panther was the Wakandan first activation, and thanks to the measuring tools we can kind of see it played out in real time here because it was down to some very precise measuring. He's only allowed to move normally once, which is the long, which put him right here. Pounce is he gets thrown small, but he doesn't take any damage from the throw, which throws him there. And that's there to show that he is not within 1, so he's not contesting the vessel, so he isn't scoring it this turn. He will next turn if he just moves ever so slightly, or if someone can somehow shift him in a way that is helpful. But he's not currently scoring it despite his best efforts. He is further away from Black Dwarf and Thanos, which is presumably the best course of action because they're very angry. But let's see, it's the Black Order up next. Proxima Midnight was very eager to get away from the centre because Killmonger is sitting on a lot of power, so if he's going to get her, he's going to have to waste an action. She did her 1 move long. She couldn't have fired. She doesn't have enough for Quantum Starburst, and her normal energy range attack is only distance 3, so she couldn't see Venom or Killmonger with that. So she just moved long. She will also make it to her vessel next turn, so the swinging thing for this game, assuming Black Panther and Proxima stay conscious, is just going to be down to the Origin Bombs, which obviously Wakanda has an advantage on. which is a little difficult. But Black Panther could get hunted down, we'll see. But it's over to Wakanda now. So Killmonger did activate and he wanted to take out the Mad Titan. He did 2 Black Ops strikes in a row. The first one, 3 damage down to 2 plus an automatic stagger, which means Thanos is only getting 1 actual action. And then the second one did 4 down to 3. Thanos had one damage on him already, I think. Yeah. So that's 4, 5, 6. He's got 2 health left. He then spent 1 power, so he's totally tapped, to try and convert the Origin Bomb, and he succeeded. So the middle Origin Bomb is back to Wakandan affiliation. So Thanos' first action was obviously to get rid of the stagger, because that's what you need to do. Then he played Medpack. That's not in focus. Now it is, I think. So anyway, this is during a character's activation, they can spend 2 to play this, remove up to 3 from themselves or an allied character within 3. He chose himself. Although eventually he did also spend 1 power on an Origin Bomb check, which he did convert, but also there was a skull in his 3 dice, so he hurt himself for 1 of that back. So all said and done, he healed himself for 2 instead of 3, basically. So anyway, then he put 3 power into a Cosmic Blast for his 1 action, so it becomes an 8 energy. Venom doesn't play nice with energy, so it throws him back small afterwards. It did 5 damage, was exactly enough to daze him, but Venom is obviously sitting on a lot of power now. He is dazed, so he isn't going to get a turn. So that means it's over to Okoye, then back to Black Dwarf, and that means Wakanda will finally get the first activation when we switch over. Okoye stayed where she was because she has no reason to move, did 2 Vibranium Spear Blasts, and she only managed to stun and, daze the Mad Titan. First one did 1 damage, second one did 4, only needed to do 3. So yeah, Thanos is dazed, he'll be flipping his card at the end of a turn. And speaking of which, just Black Dwarf to go. So Black Dwarf did an Enforced Oblivion for 2, which is a special power that means he makes a move action, so he moves small, kind of L-shaped to get around Thanos. Oh wait, Thanos is dazed, so he technically wouldn't count there, but he has to not be on him. Either way, and then you get to add 2 to the next attack he does. It counts as one of his 2 actions. He did a basic strike, which becomes 8 dice. He did 5 damage to Killmonger. Killmonger is gone. He is DED. And there's nothing else to do with his other action, because that was a move plus attack as part of 1 action, but Venom's dazed, there's no one in range. He wants to stay there to protect that middle, so nope, nothing else. So that takes us to the cleanup for Battle Round 3. So with Wakanda going first in Battle Round 4, the Black Order are finally on the scoreboard because they have the majority of Origin Bombs, so they score 3 victory points. Wakanda has scored 0. Both teams are going to start scoring their herbs next turn, so it's going to be a mad rush to the score cap before turn 6. But yeah, everything to play for if Black Panther can get taken out. If he can't, then Wakanda's done enough early on, but who knows. So Shuri was the first up in this battle round. She did a Sonic Crush on Corvus, which did stagger and stun, not that that matters now, and did 3 damage, sorry. Then to finish him off, she just did her Panther Gauntlets, which knocked him back small and did the 1 damage he had left, so he is dazed. So again, these stats effects are gone now anyway. But as he went down, Blood Despair was used, so a character is about to be dazed spends 3 and they can perform an attack. He did his death blow and rolled badly, and she rolled very well for her defense, so she only took 1 damage. Also, as a point of note, Killmonger obviously died last turn, however by that point Thanos was dazed, so he was technically flipped. Therefore, his initial Black Order affiliation bonus would not have kicked in and given a victory point for Killmonger dying. It's over to his other side where now they can hurt themselves to get free power, essentially. So I think that's right, because you get dazed the second it happens, or even if you don't, you're not counted as on the table until the flipping happens, so there wouldn't have been 1 bonus victory point. Totally forgot to mention, she also spent 1 power and managed to convert the Origin Bomb there back to the Wakandan side. Thanos activated, and he of course is on his flipped side, so he's not just the Mad Titan right now, he's absolutely livid. So he moved medium to there, then he pumped 3 power into his Cosmic Blast to do a full powered one, bringing it up to 8 dice on Black Panther, and he almost did it. He almost did it. 5 damage. Black Panther on his healthy side has 6, so he lived with 1 HP, and I don't think anyone else can get to him. No, I don't think so. That's he almost did it. Oh well. So Black Panther, fearing that something from Black Dwarf might get chucked at him, which is a fair assessment of the only other way to take him out, he moved behind this, so he's covered. He is obviously within 1 of the place, so that will score the herb that he's carrying at the end of the turn if he's still conscious. He also played Vibranium Shielding, so it gives you the innate invulnerability when this character would suffer damage from an enemy effect, reduce the amount of damage suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. the minimum of 1 means that, I mean, he's got 1 HP, so that actually wouldn't save him, but oh well. Anyway, he played 2, so he and Okoye get it, because that's, you spend between 1 and 5, and that's how far around him the Vibranium shielding is, and it gives them that passive. So he and Okoye rather, have invulnerability. Might as well just leave that card there to remember, because it might matter for Okoye, but yeah, it didn't actually matter for Black Panther because it has the minimum of 1 rule. So Black Dwarf can't get close enough to, well, he could have potentially, maybe, if he'd moved once, but the corner thing blocks, that's an automatic 1 defense. Anyway, opted to hit Venom instead because nuts to it, with 2 basic strikes. The first one did really well, did 4 damage. The second one did 1. A We Are Venom counter, what's it called? So Many Snacks, sorry, with then We Are Venom was used for 6 power to counter attack, however only ended up doing 1, so essentially this 1 damage here got healed, because Venom heals equal to the damage done by it. And that's it, and that's all he did. It's not looking good for the Black Order. So Venom moved closer to the Origin Bomb. He attacked Black Dwarf and did no damage. Then he spent 1 power to try and convert the Origin Bomb. He only rolls 2 dice. They both had to be successes because of Black Dwarf being there, and they were. So he actually converted the middle bomb, because of course he did. So now all 3 are owned by Wakanda. It's just Proxima for the Black Order now, and then back over to Okoye, who might just end up sitting still, who knows. But yeah, this might be over. Proxima moved up on her turn so that she's within 1 of the vessel over there, so that's something. There'll be victory points scored for her holding the herb within it. She then threw her spear at Okoye. It did 4 damage, and it did actually manage to take her out, which sadly does not score any bonus victory points because Thanos is on his wounded side, but it does mean she isn't there to protect the Origin Bomb, not that anybody can get close to it. Okoye is just going to guard the bomb she's at. She doesn't want to feed power to Black Dwarf or Thanos, so we're at the cleanup phase for Battle Round 4. So as we close out Battle Round 4, the Origin Bombs are obviously scoring for Wakanda because they own all of them for 3 victory points. Both sides are scoring 4 victory points for getting their herbs next to the vessels, and that means that it is 13 victory points to Wakanda, playing 7 for the Black Order. Now for turn 5 not to be the last turn, one of those 2 scoring conditions has to be changed. Or sorry, both of them do, rather. Because if Wakanda still has their herb, that's 4, that takes them over the 16. If they have the Origin Bombs, that's 3, that takes them to exactly 16. So they would have to fail both criteria. Now, there's only 3 of them left alive, one of which is wounded already. So it's not impossible, and as a result the game is going to continue, because I presume, I'm actually not sure what the rulebook says about this, like if one team gets wiped out, is it an instant loss? Because I think that's the only way the Black Order can catch up, even if they do stop the other scoring. But let's see. So Black Dwarf got Battle Round 5 started. He did an Enforced Oblivion, not for the free move, but the 2 extra attack dice added on to a basic strike. He did it on Venom, it did 4 damage, it only needed to do 2. Venom is gone. He then spent 1 to try and convert this Origin Bomb and failed. That could be killer, him failing that right there, because I don't know if they can get majority now, and that could be the kicker. Okoye activated and moved away from the Origin Bomb to over here, and the reason for that is because mission objective can be played if Black Panther goes down to automatically give the herb to her and she's still within 1, so it would still score. So what that basically means is pretty much irrelevant of what happens anywhere else. If Thanos can kill both of them, then that would deny the herb score and the game might still be on. If he can't kill both of them, then it might as well be over. And it is over to either Thanos or Proxima or Corvus now, so I guess we'll see what happens. So Thanos activated and his best range was 3, so he had to do a move regardless. So he moved to be within 1 of there, and he did spend a power and did manage to convert. He used the last 2 power he had to power up a Cosmic Blast on Black Panther. It took him out, it dazed him, so mission objective was played. As previously discussed, you spend 2, you move an asset or a civilian to an ally within 2, and they are considered to be holding it. So Okoye has it and she's within 1, so it will still score. So there's no way to stop Wakanda winning this. The only thing it comes down to is how much the Black Order can save face. Proxima has to stay over there, so there's no turn there. No matter which one of these Corvus goes to, he just has to get 1 success. So let's say he moved there. You want to do it on camera? Let's. How much is it? His energy is 3. He has to get 1 hit. He got 2. So he did convert this Origin Bomb. knocked it slightly, but it's in a bit of an awkward position. Back to that. So they did save a little bit of face, but this is over. So with the conclusion of Battle Round 5, the Origin Bombs are in control of the Black Order, giving them 3, but the Wakandan Herb over here has been saved by Okoye and mission objective for 4 victory points, which takes them to 17, so the game is over with them at 17. The Black Order, though, the Origin Bomb brought them to 10, so still having the Herb brought them to 14, so they didn't lose by that much, they lost by 3 victory points, which is not too shabby, and they were doing a real good job of killing people. If they'd managed to do that while Thanos was on his healthy side, they would have won, thanks to 3 extra victory points accounting for the first turn where the Origin Bombs were in Wakandan control. It's a shame, that's the downside to Thanos' affiliation bonus. If you manage to flip him, he's much harder to take down with 9 HP and he's very angry. But yeah, his affiliation bonus just becomes willfully wounding yourself to do... I thought it was extra power, it's actually just rerolls. So it's not nearly as good. He also loses the ability to teleport himself or someone else as well. And Death's Decree was totally forgotten there, but power was in short supply because of the mission objectives being played, constantly having to spend to interact with the Origin Bombs and no, power gem in play, and people deliberately ignored Thanos to not feed him power, same with Black Dwarf. It's a legitimate strategy, what can you say? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, thank you very much for watching, please do remember to subscribe and show your support if you want to see more Marvel Crisis Protocol in the future, along, that's the word, with all the other games we cover here. Go check them out if you want to dip your toe in the waters of a different miniature game. And yeah, there'll be more to come, including August unboxings for whatever it is releasing. Because who knows, I've asked a few European friends and it's different miniatures in different countries. Shakes fist at Asmodee. Anyway, see you next time. Ta for now.